actually show you.
Yes,
Never get to
please do.
because I'll be in the class, but if you started early, I can't.
Popped up right away.
What?
I said it popped up right away. Allegedly, Devin is going to be here with his brother. He's getting his brother.
Here, meaning. Here, meaning.
Yeah.
Online here.
Woo, Devin! Hey, my dad's here. Devin, have you gone and watched Gi versus No Gi yet on the YouTube channel? I believe you'll enjoy it. Hello, Joe. It's better for you to watch it right after because I'm worried if you watched it now, you'd be all starstruck and not be able to actually enjoy the class itself because you'd be so enamored with me more than you already are. Hey, Lou is here too. Taking class at home. Maya will be happy. Maya's saying hi and you'll see her on the camera in a second.
Her mom to be her partner.
So to jiu-jitsu students there, one of the things I'm going to do probably during this week, because we're planning on next week debuting a few of them, is I'm going to dig into some of the solo drill things that are out there, like Danaher's and otherwise, and really try to build a kind of structured class. I find solo drilling totally boring also. And so, you know, we have to figure out a way to make it a little more interesting because it's obviously going to be a while till we can figure out some form of live partner training. So that's my plan. Hopefully I can figure out some way to add some energy to it, make it some interesting stuff. For myself too, I wouldn't mind getting in some solo drills just to get the work in as well. So.
Joe says, cool.
Yeah.
Those will be Zoom classes, so we have to interact.
Oh yeah. So when, and you guys will see this new schedule very soon. We're ironing out some things. It's going to be a lot more robust, both karate and jiu-jitsu, and the solo drills classes will almost certainly be Zoom classes. So, you know, I can do it and we can also work on this, you know, kind of, I can see how you guys are doing it and add a little bit of tweaks and stuff. Just again, make it a little more interesting. Just moving around by yourself. Hey, Mike's here. Mike, I was just telling the rest of them that starting next week, I'm gonna have dug into some of the solo drill stuff and try to figure out how to make it just a little more appealing. Figure out how to, you know, a method to it so that it, you know, is thematic to the stuff that we're doing. And so we're gonna start debuting those next week and we'll have a couple of them a week. All right, we're about to get started. Those of you that are at home, start stretching out. So you have a nice big group here so far. That looks cool. And I'm going to turn the camera around for a moment. Cool. And let's see. Yeah.
We should just be stroking each other.
Hey, and Sensei Ellen is here again.
Hi.
And we're actually going to go for a low angle today. Yeah. No, you're fine. You don't have to sit below that. Hey, Kalal's here. Yeah, we have a nice big group. Okay. So let's get, actually, you know what? I'm being silly. If I put it here, we don't have to go behind it to see what's on camera. We should have done this the whole time.
Look at that.
Wow, look at us and reinventing the wheel. Okay, cool. Everybody, have a seat. Curl into a ball. Go ahead, you two face each other. And let's warm up. Seated back break falls together on the count. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's all fall to our right, whatever direction that is. Ready? 1, 2, 3. To your left. 1, 2, 3. Curl into a ball and roll the ball. Go. Balance on your shoulders, come back down. Balance on your shoulders, come back down. If there's anyone out there that this is new for, your goal is to be able to hover up on the head and shoulders without it crushing your neck, without it being uncomfortable. You should be able to sit here all day. If you can't do that yet, you will eventually. And keep on practicing. By the way, if you have like lower back concerns, I've been seeing some interesting things about just this basic opening and closing exercise of this roll being really powerful for loosening up slip discs and things like that. Let's now add triangles. We're locking our knee over our ankle on each side and begin either side. Go one and then the other. Remember, knee joint over ankle joint, not over the top of your foot. Keep going. We're crossing, locking underneath. You can use your elbows for balance, or you can try to keep your hands in the air and balance on your shoulders just like we did before. Very good. And down. Let's do bridges left and right, pushing out of our feet, getting our belly button up to the ceiling, reaching over our head, and begin. Go ahead, you two. I can get a little bit of music on again.
So YouTube blocks this again?
No, they don't. If you pick the right thing.
That thing you picked last week
It was terrible. Terrible. But maybe find a better
That was
one.
awful.
And down, palm of the legs, big circles. You can back up a good amount. You're fine.
Definitely gonna kick each other.
Yes, so back up. Change directions. And down, back up a little bit, sit on up. And, okay. And, your head again. And go ahead, S position, back and forth. Use this to warm up your hips. And now try no hands. Just swing your legs. Something I actually struggle with a little bit too. Yeah.
The other.
Maybe we all could benefit from a solo drills class.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. We're warming up our hands, so have a seat in any comfortable position. For those that are brand new, you can copy me. If you want to just keep on going on your own, go ahead. 10 finger or S grip position. Give a little pull. Palm to palm grip. Give a little pull. Wrist to wrist or butterfly grip for heel hooks. You're not actually gripping things. You're just using a false grip with both pinkies. Switch over and cover the watch. Slide down to the fist. Cover the fist. To both elbows, our tombstone grip or double elbow. To our figure 4 or rear naked choke grip. Back to our elbows. Back to our fist. Back to our watch. Back to our wrists, butterfly. Back to our palms. Back to our fingertips. Flip the fingers. Continue. Give yourself a moment to actually feel your hands. Feel, one of the nice things about not training jiu-jitsu for a little while is maybe you didn't realize how your hands have been beat up. Your joints have been beat up this whole time, and you're finally able to let your body heal up a little bit. So it's turning a bug into a feature, but it's not untrue that your body may be getting to recover for the first time in a long time. Start thinking ahead. We're going to move on to some Kimura grips, but start thinking ahead about what drill you want to work on. Today we're going to do pure open drilling, so you can do anything you want when we get to that point. It doesn't have to be 3 different areas. So start planning on that, and shake out your hands. And Kimura grips 2 for 2 begin.
You just need circle music.
Why don't the two of you move a little bit towards me and a little bit towards the front door? And then we can shift on to arm drags. So one person sit, one person on their knees. Yep, go ahead, Jen, sit down. And Maya starts to posture forward. Wait, hold on a second. Let's make one of the cues be, so when Maya's sitting back on her heels, don't go for it. Don't try to force it. Maya, put your hands on the knees and now raise up. And right then, that's the trigger. So arm drags are a challenge if you try and do them. Arm drags are a challenge if you try and force them. If you try and just make someone move their whole body weight with an arm drag when they're resisting it, it's very difficult. But if you find the timing of somebody raising their weight or moving their weight forward, arm drags become one of the most potent and easy techniques in the world. So from here, as Maya starts to come forward, that's the moment, right? And so try, you don't have to rush, in fact you shouldn't, but try to match that timing. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice, yep. This is a powerful, powerful tool. Very good. 30 more seconds, and then we're going to move on to our open drilling section. The rules for your open drilling: pick any drill or movement that you like. If you're with a partner, it should be relatively fast. So you can do a series, like 3 moves. Like, let's say you're in the mount and you do gift wrap to the back and to rear naked choke, but your series shouldn't take more than like 15 seconds. If so, you're absorbing too much of their time. And so it should be that or just one move. And if you want in the middle of the round to ask them to resist or respond in some way, and you will then respond to that, that's fine too. And time. Moving on to open drilling. Hello everybody, who's here? Oh, Sarai from BJJ. Nice to see you. Or Sensei Allen. Hey, Kalal. Or Shion Russell. What are we doing? Under the arm, under the head. Mind yourself. Got 3 more minutes. Try not to lose time in transitioning from one person to the next. This isn't going to happen. Put the arms inside, Jen. You would never have your arm there, right? Pull her onto her side. No, don't mind. No. Pull her towards you. Left arm under her arm. Nope. Under. Nope. Forget about the right arm. Left arm. Under her arm. Right there, yeah. The problem is you're never in this side control, so you suddenly choosing this as a drill. Yeah. You're always in the other side control because you pass with your right leg. Yeah. Yeah. So if you don't think out the way we're drilling, there we go. Now that feels natural. Right? So you want to use your right arm because you're used to always being on that side. Yeah. So with Jen, stop putting your arm there because that never, ever, ever happens in your life. Yeah. Gotta have it on the inside or you're giving her a terrible model. Okay. We got a minute, about 2 minutes to go, a little less. Nice job. But same thing, Maya, your left arm is dangling out there, is not quite realistic enough. Bring it into the game. So for everyone at home, while you're being the uke, while you're being the person doing, and move back into the center, please. If you're the uke, the person who's having the technique done to you, it's a job, it's a responsibility. If you get like kind of mindless about what you're doing, you're teaching them the wrong things. They're getting some false positives out of techniques that would never work because you're like, here, I'll do the technique when no one will ever just lay there and have it done to them. Don't resist, but at the same time, you can't just be laying there waiting for your turn. You need to be showing them the reasonable, similar responses that they would see on someone rolling so that they can truly work on it. Bring that arm in, like grab her wrist. Yeah, exactly. Right. And Jen, arms in. Arms in. Good first. Spin your feet to me. Nope. Spin your feet to me, Jen, or let her go.
No, she was going to climb over, right?
Whatever, make it happen. Good. Elbows in. Yes. Now Maya, find the darts. There we go. That looks real. That is going to look familiar when you're actually rolling. And that's what it ultimately comes down to, is the person seeing familiarity when they actually train. When they're rolling, do they see the same things that they practice? And therefore will have a fast response opposed to just a random. And time. Okay. Shake it out a little bit. Okay. So what we're going to work on today is some of our entries into our leg lock positions. Here's the idea. For those of you that are more experienced who know these two entries, they're ones that we do at our dojo all the time. We're going to do these two entries that you may be familiar with, you may not be. If you're familiar with them, even if you're not, here's your focus, but it's going to be a little harder if the technique's brand new to you. If you're experienced with it, your focus is going to be on controlling a leg from the beginning all the way to the end. So what I mean by that is when your partner starts becoming a little more experienced or a little more cautious with leg locks, the moment you start gobbling up a leg, they start defending. They start pushing you past their knee. They start pulling their leg out. And so if there's any moment where you're not controlling the leg, you're going to lose the position altogether. And so we're going to control people's legs often with our hands first, maybe our arms second, sometimes not. And then we enter our legs into their legs. We wrap our legs around, we squeeze everything tight, we lock things down. And then and only then can we let go with our hands. What you'll see people do is a bit more of like a dynamic entry, where they grip the foot for a second and they fly their legs in and their hands aren't doing anything or they're not controlling the leg. And an experienced practitioner is just going to pull their leg back. So if you are more experienced, I want you to focus on this, what I like to call continuity of control. You're controlling it throughout. If these are brand new to you, if you can see moments to pay attention to that, do it. Otherwise, just try and get the technique down. So we're going to start off with an entry from the top of half guard. I find this by far one of the highest percentage leg entries because you can really disguise it in the middle of guard passing. That's often the way we do a good leg entry, is by disguising it with a guard pass. But this one is, I've seen this work all the way up through black belt very easily. Maya, why don't you come on in? Okay. So I'm going to be in the half guard with Maya. She's got her right leg on the inside and locked up behind. Okay. One of the reasons that this entry becomes more effective nowadays is that people don't play a really tight, locked-in half guard. Like if Maya figure fours this, so go ahead, If she's in a full figure four, which I don't know if you guys can see in the camera, but if she is in this full figure four, the entry's gonna be hard because what I really need is some space between her leg and mine. But nowadays, a lot of people are playing a much looser half guard for a bunch of reasons, and so she won't have this lock. Maybe she has a shin shield, maybe she just has a foot on top and a high knee. There's all these things that she might do that make a bit more room, a bit more space. So the first thing, the prerequisite I need is I need to see this hole right here where our knees meet. That's going to be where I'm going to start the attack. I'm going to attack it by inserting my foot here. So why don't you just lay your upper body down so we can go right. So this leg we don't have to worry about right now. It could be pushing me away. It's all fine. What I need is space here. So I'm going to post my hands on the mat. I'm going to be careful about a Kimura grip here. I'm going to shift my weight so I can windshield wiper my foot inside. Once my foot is inside the knee line here, I can start the attack. If I can't get that, then I kind of want to keep fighting for it before I move forward. Once I get the top of my foot on the inside of that knee, now we want to get our hand control over this leg. I'm going to come inside and through to this grip here. So I'm going under the knee and then palm on top of the thigh. At this moment, we're now talking about control, and I never want to let go of the leg until I'm done. You'll see people here start to go here, and they start to let go and fall back, and they lose the leg. Give me a little muscle, just a tiny bit, Maya, so I don't yank your leg too hard. Okay, so I've got this leg here. Now we've got everything set up to go for the entry. Slide this knee all the way up, sit down onto my own left hip, right heel over the top, and lock everything down. Notice I didn't let go of the knee here until my heel was in. So now I can let go, start switching to this grip, and Maya feels stuck. If somewhere along the line here, I let go, and I go here, she pulled, I lost her already, it was super fast. And even this is no good. Pulls, yeah, now we're in a leg pummeling fight. I want to keep my hands gripping until I go to there. So now faster, without as much detail. Let's turn a little bit. No, just this way. Yep, good. Okay, so half guard. Yep, she's there. Again, I need a little space in here. Hands forward, palm of my foot in. The smaller of you might be able to do that without having to kind of do anything with your hands. Once I have that, time to get the leg. Knee in and sit to my hip. Holding onto the leg still until I've established the full ashi here. And there we are. For those of you who, my own students, we know that like this version of the heel hook doesn't work quite as well as this version of the heel hook here. This is super potent, reaching back, finishing with a figure 4 grip. Don't worry about the finish. We're just working on the entry. Jen, come on back in. Maya, you can go first. And so, Jen, go pick up the half guard. You're sitting. Maya's in the half guard. Let's, yeah, we can do that for you. It's fine. When Jen goes, it'll be there. Okay, so half guard. And now, Maya puts her weight under her hands, so her left foot can pommel inside. You're fine, doesn't matter. Okay, knee on the mat, Maya, good. Now, right hand comes under the knee. No, first way is right, knee up, and cups it. Once you've got that, bring your left knee in and pull the leg to you. Go, fall. Right heel over the top and pinch. Excellent, good. Jen, your turn, I'll talk it through. Second person, you're up, I'll talk you through. If you're at home working on these drills by yourself, this whole motion you can do by yourself. Hands to the mat, pommel your foot, slide your knee, sit back, make it coordinated. Okay, so Jen puts her hands on the mat, gets her foot up. We almost want them to go for the Kimura here because while they're doing that, we can be attacking their leg. Pommel inside. Yeah, you can clean that up a little bit. Left knee goes to the belly. No, don't move your right knee. Don't move your right knee. Put your left knee to her belly and sit. Yeah, you don't have to do all that covering. You can just slide it. There we go. Locks it down. Very good. 1 for 1 on your own. Begin. And let's remember, whether you're home or the two here, really grip onto that leg with your hand so that you feel like you own that leg until your legs can take over. Your legs are stronger, but your legs are far less accurate in their control. Very good, good. And now go inside, very good. Yep, hold it tight before you can go. Good. Lead with that heel, very nice. So to everybody, here's our rules with drilling. 3 steps. First step, do all of the movements correctly. Get all of the steps right. Second step, smooth out those movements so that it's not like a choppy set of moves, but one smooth string. Some of the movements might even overlap each other, right? You could do a few of these pieces together. Only once you've done that, only once it's smooth, or you've made a few of the movements concurrent instead of consecutive, only at that point do you start to speed up. Almost no one at home, unless this is a technique you do all the time, almost no one at home should be doing this fast yet. You should do a few more reps where you're just trying to get it correct and smooth it out. Jen, I would lean forward to the left, go, like let go of the leg, put it back. Lean to the left so you can get in front of the knee cleanly. Yeah. Right. Use your shoulder lead. And follow. Round's halfway over. You got 2 more minutes. Very nice. Very good, man. Jen, wait, don't point your toes at the end there. You want your heel.
Like the one that's coming in under the ashi.
Pointing your toes means you're using the bottom of your foot. A minute and a half. One of the nice things about this technique as well is that the pommeling your foot in would also be a method for passing the guard. And so you're not really giving away what you're going for until you wrap your arm around their leg. No, under. Very good. So next we're going to look at, in about 45 seconds, the finish from this position, which is a little bit of a unique ashigurami. And so depending on your partner's size, you're going to do 2 different bites. And if you're doing this by yourself, you can still practice the same motion as well. Nice. 30 more seconds. And time. Okay, let's look at the finish. So this is going to be dependent on the length of your partner's legs. So the 2 of them both have much shorter legs than mine and are pretty similar to each other. Jen, come on in for a second, just because you're kind of slightly longer leg, but regardless, the point is going to be. I'll just pick it up. Yep. So this is where we ended up, right? And in the case of Jennifer, because of the fact that she has shorter legs than mine, a classic heel hook is going to work fine. In a second, we're going to switch and I'm going to have her do the other version, because sometimes from this version, where one of her legs is pinned and she's way on her side, sometimes their leg is like all the way over here. And reaching back to get a classic heel hook doesn't work as well. And so we're going to show that in a second. But if you're with a partner who is shorter than you, or has shorter legs, a classic heel hook would work here. But let's get this motion right. What we don't want to do is twist this way. If I twist this way, Jen just moves her knee with me, and I take her right into the rolling defense. She's going to get out. So the goal, the nice thing about this ending position, is that I'm often sitting on this leg. Put this leg to the other side. Right. I'm often sitting on this leg, and it makes it really challenging for her to use it or to get out. And the finish here is going to be regular on the watch, other palm underneath. And I'm going to go backwards and bridge up at the same time. She very well may feel it as an ankle, but it will go up to the knee eventually if she doesn't feel it as an ankle or she has very flexible ankles. But the idea here is we're doing this, right here, right? We're doing this motion with the foot between our bridge and our falling back position from here. Notice I can do it here almost without having to use my hands, just with the armpit. Now, if we're doing the long leg version, what we're going to do instead is bring the other hand underneath and figure 4 it. Whenever we figure 4, and again, I'll have her do it to me because it's more realistic, leg length wise, is that the finish is not, if I fall straight back, she'll feel it. It's not going to be great, but look how far I can go without her really tapping to it. Instead, it's a crunch of my right side. So I'm exaggerating here, but imagine I'm turning a steering wheel and crunching like this with the bite. And so from here, it's this. Yeah, and I get the tap really fast. Again, look, if I do the lifting version from here, I don't get it the way I want. But if I do the twisting version, very fast. This one comes off as an ankle very quickly, but then moves to the knee fast. So now watch, Jen is going to do the same one to me. Go ahead, you can do the full entry if you'd like. Yeah, so your half guard, yeah, you gobble up this leg. Here we go. Let me just make sure we can see. Okay, so now she's in the same situation where my heel is like all the way back here. And a regular heel hook is a bit of a problem. She's going to come on up and now reach over with the left one instead. Yeah. Figure 4 it. Because of the length of the leg here, this is a much better fit. I don't know if you guys can see it so well on the camera. She's going to crunch her left side and, yep, that's it. And we get the tap. Again, as I said, it often will feel like an ankle first more than a knee, unlike all the inside heel hooks, which are all knee. All right, let's come on with each other. And so at home, you can practice both. You can alternate between regular grip and rear naked choke grip. If your partner has a specifically lengthened leg for you, then go ahead and just do the figure 4. It's often the one from here. And begin. You can do the entry each time and or go right into the finish. Begin. You can start in the position and just work the finish. If you're just working the finish, I would say do like 3 of them and then let your partner go. Yeah, nice, Maya. And now crunch your right side. No, don't pull tight. So I want this spot to get smaller. So bring here to here together. Right, that's what's going to finish it. Yeah. Crunch.
No, it's okay. The first one I felt in my knee. The second one I felt in my knee.
But that's because you didn't move with it. If you
Right.
moved with the first one, you would have felt nothing.
Yeah.
And the second one, you can't move with it. One of the concepts that we want to start thinking as we get a little more advanced with our leg finishes, or any finishes, one of the advanced things that we want to start thinking about is the direction of the finish a direction that your partner can move in. So if you finish by rolling, by twisting, can they twist with you and just follow? If you finish by bridging, can they come up with the bridge and compensate for it? This one, when you get into that rear naked choke position, if you try and bridge, they can turn with it. But if instead you kind of turn it into this sideways crunch, they have no way to compensate for that movement. And that's why it's so effective. And this can apply to almost every submission. Nice, yep. Feel the armpit, Maya, really locking on those toes so her foot doesn't slide, and you got it great. Nice, Jen. Remember, continuity of control. Keep your legs nice and tight.
Where'd you go? Like, I don't know.
No, I didn't feel it. I'm being nice to you.
Just being nice.
More on the outside of the ankle, yep.
Just do it. Okay. Hurts good.
Nice, man.
Absolutely.
Yep.
No, it's okay.
Don't be sorry.
Good. Sorry, not sorry.
Relax my work.
Hashtag topical.
Nice.
I lose it like.
You got to go to the armpit first, and then use your hand to like drop the heel onto your other wrist, opposed to like fishing for it in the same way you're used to. So cover the toes, and then come under the heel with that, and then reinforce it. Keep going. We got another minute. One more minute. Another 2 or 3 each, and then we'll work on our classic back step. Nice, exactly, Maya. Yeah.
It's really tight.
Catching the heel and the toes at the same time also is not terrible. You can also go hand on the heel and then slide it to the wrist. That's the other option. So let's clean this up, Jen. Think it through. You can grip the. Why don't you grip the heel with your hand first, Jen? Left hand. No, left hand. Now gobble up the toes, and now slide it to the wrist. Yeah. That's clean. That was very tight, obviously. By the response? Yep. Ooh, clean. That was super sharp, yeah. Your hands just flew right into the right spot. Yeah, that's the point. It should get worse and worse for the person having it done too.
Yeah, I'm hurting you.
Yeah. And time.
No, I gotta finish it.
You can go ahead. You can finish it. Always. Yep. Always be willing to finish the drill as long as it's not going to take too long. We can wait. Okay, so we're now going to do our classic back step pass. Back step meaning that we're starting an entry of like a knee slice pass, and we change directions and back step over the leg. I'll show it to you in a minute if you haven't done it before. Most of my students have done the back step pass. It's super popular. Became like a lot of the ways that people started learning leg lock entries was off this back step pass. Craig Jones made it really famous, a bunch of other people. What I would like you to focus on is 2 things, especially if you're experienced with this entry. 1, the continuity of control. Your hands are controlling the leg all the way until your legs are controlling the leg. And then the second point would be, with this one in particular, you want to be able to do this technique and bail out of it if they're responding well. So you're in the middle of a guard pass. If you do this badly, you can get your back taken. They can counter you, and they certainly can escape it. And so because you're very mobile on your feet, I would like you to start entering it. And if the person starts getting their leg out, if they start defending it, you reset back to where you start. You don't just commit to it no matter what and end up losing it. So let's look at it. Maya, come on over. So I'm in front of Maya's butterfly guard. My head's gonna be out of the frame here, but that's okay, because we're gonna get low in a second. And so I'm gonna enter my right foot, and I'm gonna grip things as though I'm thinking about the guard pass. I'm thinking about a simple knee slice across. But now the goal is, if she sits back or if she stays up, either way it's gonna work. But now I want my hands to go to the leg. Often you'll see people just keep their hands up high and do this, and that can work. But again, if Maya right here just pulls her left leg out, right, I lose it. And sometimes I don't need to lose the whole thing. I just need to lose the knee and the whole thing goes away. So from here, I want to reach down and pick the ankle. I want to get my hands on this until I get my legs on it. And now watch. We're going to step behind, and my knee, my back knee, my left knee, is going to gather up behind her knee. This is starting to pinch her leg together between my legs, and so the control is going from my hands to my legs. We sit and pull. The moment we feel like we have pinching control over the first leg, the primary leg, I'm going to reach out and grab the secondary leg. I would like to ultimately just get a simple, ankle lock or guillotine grip, they sometimes call it, on the secondary leg. What do my feet do for the moment? Let's just go ankle to ankle and pinch. They should feel like their leg is really controlled inside. One more time. So, I step into the middle. If mine doesn't do anything and I don't want a leg attack, I just knee slice. Say just knee slice, but obviously not that insignificant. We're here, but instead of knee slice, I reach down for the foot. Other foot steps behind, and I want to create this little shelf. You wouldn't stop here, I'm just doing it for your benefit. We start to fall, and once I feel like I've got a nice bite on this foot, I can let go with my hands, move to the other foot, and get control here. Pinch our legs in tight. We're ready to attack the inside leg from the best leg position in jiu-jitsu, which is the saddle. I've got the inside leg here, reinforced there, knee in the chest. A lot of details about the position. We're not working on the position today. We're working on the entry. Jen, come on in. Maya, you'll do it first. And I'll count it down.
Good?
Yeah, it's fine. You're good. Maya steps her right foot in, gets low, reaches left hand down and picks, no, left hand, and now step behind. Now wait. Bring your left knee under her knee, Maya. Not to the mat, just underneath her knee. Now sit and pinch your legs together. Yeah, reinforce your ankle, ankle to ankle. Reach out and grab the second foot, right? So if you wait that long, you might not get the second leg. And go ahead. Jen steps in, reaches down. So left hand reaches down through your own feet to grab her leg.
Oh, like that.
Not with that grip. I would flip your hand. Yep. Now, no. Left knee, get it behind her knee before you start to sit. Otherwise, you won't be able to bail if it doesn't work. Boom. Reinforce your feet. Yep, and a little late on that leg. This is not, I don't like the angle of the saddle. You should be sitting your hips way closer to her hips. Don't fall that far away. And also, why don't we spin around? The angle's better for the camera. Get people there. All right, we're starting the round. And go, yeah, come back with practice. So before you sit, there should be a pinch between your two legs.
And then I get this leg.
Yeah. And the sooner your legs are controlling that first leg, you can grip the second leg. Because a good practitioner will sprawl their second leg out as soon as possible. Yeah. Sit right next to there. Right there. Much clearer.
First one was pretty bad.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's been a little while, turns out.
Whoa.
Excellent. Fantastic.
Yay!
At least we'll know we haven't been doing some secret training.
No. We have clearly not been at a jiu-jitsu speakeasy.
Since we're terrible.
Bend your knees, bend your knees. So the lower you can squat into your position before you go, it's going to be easier. Those of you, myself included, that feel like a little limited in that motion of the squat, yeah, it's going to be a little harder. Those that are practicing this by yourself, get into that low position where you can kind of hover on your right leg. Notice we're not using our partner for our balance very much. It's all on our own feet, so act accordingly.
Keep messing up Danny's
names for.
for people who want to film the Tuesday afternoon
Okay,
class.
I probably get 40 applicants. 2 more minutes, halfway there. Keep working. Wait, is your left arm top of it? Put your ankles together, like bring your top leg on top. Pull. So your right foot. And now both of you try to end up with the person who's attacking, ending up in a sitting position, not laying down. Even if that means sitting back up, because it'll lead to the finish much faster. Nice. Yeah.
You did not too bad.
But like, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, nice. You just need to hold on to the leg, and that grip is a good one, but it doesn't, like, yeah, any grip will work as long as they can't pull that leg out. Last minute.
Like the fall. Bottom to lower.
Yeah, it's, I don't know if it's that, or if it's just like.
It's like if you're all the way down here.
The leg, like I don't put the leg in the right position. Like the leg is, I don't.
That's fine. Ooh, that was good.
Yeah.
It'll feel smoother with practice. Takes time.
No, it's fine. I got another one.
No, it turns out I didn't at all.
Go ahead and finish the one you're on. Okay, so last thing we're going to work on will be the finish from here. Oh, my friend, give her a high five for. Oh, it's so sad. Okay. Okay, Jen, why don't you sit there and just move back up a little bit? Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I'm doing the same entry. Boom, boom. Pick up the leg. Shelf it with my other. As we sit down, I gather up the second leg. Okay, so first thing I mention to my students all the time, the point of details within a technique is that they handle a common response from our opponent that they won't always do. So you sometimes will get away with doing a technique without all the details because your partner doesn't actually do the thing that the detail is supposed to respond to. But you'll then, maybe that detail won't end up in your arsenal and someone else will respond with it and you'll just lose them altogether. So the reason that we gather up the second leg, if Jennifer doesn't know anything about leg locks and she just sits here, first of all, she might make the mistake of covering the legs together, right? This is a mistake from the saddle because she needs this leg out to be able to escape. I can just start attacking anyway. This is a mistake, but inexperienced leg lockers will do that. Experienced leg lockers are going to sprawl that leg far away. They're going to turn their toes away from me. The heel is as far from possible for me to grab, and she's going to start running away. Right, you don't have to finish it just so we don't have to reset. But that's her way out, right? So the reason I gather up this leg is neither of those things are possible now. She can't turn her foot really well that way because she can't turn her body, and this leg's trapped. So how do we go from here to the end? Everybody agrees that this is the weakest spot of this finish is when I try to let go of this leg and go to the up, and I can lose her. So we'd like to make this a little cleaner going from one to the other. So we've got the double trouble position, as Danaher calls it, where we've got two legs in control. And now the reason that we wanted to go for this grip is that it frees up our other hand. And what we'd like to do with the other hand is reach through and find the heel. We would like to get to a position where we can stop her from turning. I know you can't really see it because of our legs. I'll move the legs in a second. I want it to be that when I let go of the top leg, her turning away is difficult without hurting herself. So without the leg here, just you imagine the leg's still there. What I did was I reached through with my free hand and I gripped the heel. So I'm turning it kind of into a one-handed heel hook. I'm not going to be able to finish it by itself here, but a one-handed heel hook. So now that her leg is free and she decides to turn, it becomes much more challenging. So the leg was back here though.
I'm so sorry.
I've got, so open auditions now for new assistants in class. Terrible. Okay. So I've got this grip here, And now the key is finding the space to get to the heel. All the way through, until I've got it. Again, you won't be able to see it here so well, but it's happening. At this moment, I can let go of the top leg. She will almost always, if she doesn't pull, that's fine, but she's almost always gonna pull. If she starts like trying to get the foot into play, go ahead, sir, no, the second foot right into play, it's not gonna work. I'm still just gonna be able to get myself into that finish. If she starts pushing on this leg with that, that's gonna be viable. But trying to mess around with where the grip is, it's almost always a losing battle. Grip, cover. From here, we can go to classic heel hook. We can go to the build-up heel hook if they've got very small heels, whatever. But the idea will be now, the finish is not a torque, it's not a bridge, it is a hipping into the side of the knee. We've talked about that before, we talked about that a couple classes ago, I'm not gonna get into it now, but we're finishing by bridging into the side of the knee from here. All right, so without a partner, if you're doing this by yourself, or just so you can see it one more time, we've got the kind of headlock, straight ankle grip on the top leg, through, find the heel. Let go, reinforce it, go to whatever grip you like, and finish with the hips. Okay, Maya, come back in. Maya, you're gonna do the finish first. No, I'm sorry, Jen, you'll do the finish first, because you just had it done to you.
Do I do the back step or do I just...
You can, again, and this is for people at home too, you can work on just the ending, or you can work on there. Yeah. Rick Ricard said, I like Jennifer's My Giddy defense from the saddle. Got to try that next time. Yeah.
See?
Yes. And again, for future, do it the other way because that's all invisible to the camera. You don't have to do it this time. And begin.
Right, so then I should be sitting here, or you should be
Yes.
visible.
Do it the same way I did it because then it's a little more visible to the camera. And go. So no, left hand over the top. Just normal. Okay, now forget about that leg for a moment. Reach through to that heel. Pull it to your armpit. Yep, let the other leg go. Let the other leg go. You don't need any more heel hook there. There you go. Yeah. Jokes aside about getting kicked in the face, you know, people that are really like going for leg locks, you often end up in a position where your hands and your face are right near where their feet are. And like I've had a dozen times in my training, somebody defending a foot lock from there, or a heel hook from there, and like kick me in the head, like, oh God, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's like, it's what I get for going for these. It's like you put your face in that position. It's like getting hit under the chin by somebody you're trying to guillotine. If you go for guillotines, you're gonna get headbutt in the chin. It's just part of it. You learn to adapt to it. When you're going for finishes on the legs, you're gonna get kicked in the face because they're gonna be kicking at your hands, trying to clear their feet, and your face is right there. So often when you're going for stuff, just like turn your face away. So when you get kicked, it's not so bad. It seems like, wow, I shouldn't have to worry about that. You totally have to worry about that. You can also bring your body to it more. The grip on the second leg can be let loose. It just has to.
I'm all about the kicking.
Ugh.
All about the kicks.
Nice, Maya. Very clean.
Wait, I kept the other leg in there too. The second leg.
Yeah, it can happen. You can get that kind of pretzel.
Cool.
It's. I don't think it is as reliable, but people like it. Looking for the Texas cloverleaf. Nice, Maya. Super clean. Very good. 2 more minutes. Last set.
No, I don't want that one.
Getting cleaner. Reinforce your first leg though, Maya. Like ankles. A little better if it's like left on top or right, pulling in. And remember, bridge into the knee. Don't try to bridge the foot up. Like hips into the knee. I shouldn't even say bridge. Hip into the knee. Nice job. Whoops.
Yeah, it's actually, it ends up making me like...
Do you feel the knee though when she bridges forward with her hips, or do you just feel it as like a calf slicer?
Well, that.
With that other leg in there, it's more like a calf slicer.
We'd rather it not be a calf slicer because people can gut that out. Yeah, people can gut out the calf slicer. Please don't blow out your mother's ACL. Happy Mother's Day. I got you a new ACL.
That knee actually could use it.
What is wrong? Jennifer has become a spazzy white belt. I'm going to give her a white belt before the end of today. Yeah, Yeah, wow, we're all in this together.
Yes.
Yeah. Jennifer's kicking us and we're getting kicked. Yeah, we're in this together. Unbelievable. I have not done a single spazzy thing all day. Last 30 seconds, one more each.
Yeah, how many times I can hit you?
Oh, I think in 30 seconds you can hit her quite a number of times. Ooh, no, it was good. I like how low you were. I just want to see your left heel on top of your right ankle, pulling your foot in a little more. And time. Very good. Okay, so those of you at home, thank you very much. That's it for all the drills. If you guys want to roll around a little bit, feel free. We are going to do the same. You know, technically, one of the things that I am a big proponent of is treating entries to submissions and submission setups and then finishes as very different things. People often learn the whole thing as one technique. You know, you go to enter this, and then you lock this down, and then you finish. And I think that entries are their own thing. Often just the intermediate, like how to handle the problems of a position or a submission when your opponent resists it, are its own thing. And then the mechanics, what they call the breaking mechanics, the very finish, is its own thing. And so I'll sometimes teach them entirely in different classes, right? Like we'll do the entry into that leg position and not work the finish at all. Not because like they're not connected, but because I want the mentality to be that they're a different study entirely. So try to treat it that way. Just work, I know the very finish is the exciting part. It's when you get the tap, it's when you win. Work on the entries. You never get to do the finish if you don't get to practice the entries or if you don't succeed at the entries. So thank you very much. Those of our students out there, we are sending out a whole bunch of information starting next week on slightly more expanded new schedule, a bunch of new great stuff coming down the line. So you know, stick with us if you want to be included on that. If you're not one of our normal students, if you're from somewhere else and you'd like to find out our schedule, if you're interested in perhaps enrolling on some of our online material, send us an email. You can do it through our website. You can find us through the Facebook page you're on right now. Whatever, we'll see you soon. See you later in the week. Enjoy. Keep moving. Bye, everybody.